Hello, this is Dan Douthart. In this video I will show you how I created the patterns that I used to create these ornaments. Making and resizing patterns like this is quite easy with the assistance of a CAD program, and my tool of choice is DeltaCad. DeltaCad professes to be the world's easiest CAD program, and I believe that to be correct. Making these ornament patterns was my first usage of this program. I simply started poking around trying various drawing tools. DeltaCad is available as a free download from DeltaCad.com, and after the free trial period, the program can be purchased for $39.99. Several GWA members did a group purchase at a reduced price. I believe we got it as a group for about $20 per license. The following steps create a pattern that will produce a 2-inch spherical ornament when finished on the lathe, or a 1.5-inch square bulb ornament when finished on the scroll saw. The lathe finished ornament on the right starts with a 2 1/4-inch square block or 4 1 1/8-inch square quarter blocks with a length of about 4 inches. The scroll saw finished ornament on the left starts with a 1 3/4-inch square block or 4 7/8-inch square quarter blocks with a length of about 2.5 inches. Before we get started with the drawing, here is a brief intro of the DeltaCad screen. The top line on the window is the title bar. Title bar will show the file name that you're currently working on. In this case, with the name of sheet 1 just indicates that I have not yet saved a file since I opened up the window. The bottom line on the screen is the status bar. The status bar will give you hints of what the program is expecting next. The line under the title bar is the main menu, starting with having the word file, edit, and draw, or drop down menus. This should be familiar to anybody that's been using Windows type programs. Clicking on a label will open the menu and show you the available functions in that menu. Then if you look at the status line, it gives you information about that, the item that's underneath the cursor at that time. The next two lines under the main menu is to make up the toolbar. The second line below the toolbar is the toolbar tabs. The toolbar tabs select the major object type or operation to perform. This first line under the main menu is the toolbar buttons. The toolbar buttons show you the individual functions or specific functions that are available for that selected tab. And when the tab is selected, in this case the word select, it changes to red, and then on the button line, select objects is red, indicating that it is the selected button. And hovering over either a tab or a button will pop up a yellow flag giving you the name of that button or tab. Okay, it's time to start doing some drawing. I'm going to start off by creating a central reference point that will be used to create reference lines and points that will in turn be used for laying out the ornament pattern. So I'm going to select the Draw a Line tab, and I want my line color to be black, I want the style to be solid, and I want the weight to be thin. So I'm going to select Draw a Horizontal Line button, and I'm going to click somewhere down here in the center. And if you look down here on the status line, you'll see the number indicating the length of the line that will be created once I click the mouse button. So I'm going to look down there, I'm going to create a line that's about 3 inches long. Now I could have drawn a line that was exactly 3 inches long. Let's do it there. We'll click again, click down here, start moving the mouse, and then I'm going to enter 3 on the keyboard and press enter, and that would draw a line that's exactly 3 inches long. But in this case I'm not concerned about that. So we'll use the Control Z to delete that last line that I drew. So next thing I want to draw the vertical reference line that's going to give me the central point. So I'm going to select the Draw a Vertical Line, come up here somewhere about in the center of that horizontal line, and come down and draw a vertical line that's again about 3 inches long. The next thing is to draw a bounding box that will be the outline of my paper pattern. So I'm going to select the Draw a Parallel Line tool. I'll come down and I'll click on the central vertical line, and I'll come out 0.875 or 7/8 of an inch and press enter. And then I'm going to create the other side. I'm going to click on the central reference line again and start moving that out. Now if you look down here on the status line, I can press enter for 0.875, which is a duplicate of my last offset that I did. So I just start moving the cursor, the mouse in the proper direction, and press enter, and that'll give me a matching line on the left side that's 7/8 of an inch away from the central vertical line. So now I need to draw the upper and lower bounding line. So I click on the central horizontal line, and now I want the upper line to be 1 1/8 inches or 1.125 inches above, and I want it to be 1 1/4 inches below, so to 1.25 inches below. So there's my bounding box, and the next thing I want to do then is to delete those excess lines. So I'm going to use the Edit tab. I want to select the Slide and Endpoint button. And the usage on this tool is to select a line, in this case outside of my bounding box. I'll click on the line that extends outside, and then come down and click on the horizontal line to establishes the cut point. Click on over there, cut point. Click on that line, come down and click on the cut point. And then I just go around the box and go trimming it back, trimming each of those lines that extend out past back to the cut point. So I'm clicking, 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 clicking. Okay, now I could have used the Shapes tab and draw a rectangle using 2 corners button, and I could have created a rectangle the same size, and then drawn using the parallel line tool. I could have drawn lines, the cross hatch lines in the center, but I want to retain the individual line segments that will make it easier to, if I need to adjust the size of my ornament in the future, I can easily move an individual line. You can see when I'm putting the cursor on a line, it turns red, indicating that if I clicked it, I would select that individual line segment. Whereas on the rectangle, the entire box, or the entire perimeter of the rectangle is highlighted as not individual lines. So if you use the rectangle tool, then you're not going to have individual line segments, and it would be more difficult then to resize the ornament later if you decide you want to change the size a bit. So we'll get rid of that rectangle by pressing Ctrl-Z. The next step is to create reference lines that will be used for the layout of the ornament pattern. First, let's make the image a little bit larger, so you can use the scroll wheel to zoom in, just to make the image a bit larger. If you don't have a scroll wheel on your mouse, then you can come down here to the scale and enter in a smaller number that will also make the image larger, and then you can use the arrow keys on here to recenter center your object. So I'm going to go to the Line tab, and I want to set the color to black, the line to dashed, and the weight to thin. And I'm going to use the parallel line tool. I need vertical reference lines that are offset from the central reference line by 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, 5/8, and 3/4 on both sides. So I'm going to click on the central vertical line and move the cursor to the right and type in 1/8 and press enter. Now I need to do so I could go through and the same motions and recreate and enter the new values in, but remember down at the bottom down there on the status line it says press enter to repeat. So I'll press enter 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to create those lines. Now we'll click on the central reference line, move it to the right, and press it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Now I don't need a reference line at the 1/2 inch mark, so we'll use the edit an object and erase, and then click on the 4th line on either side of the central vertical line to erase that reference line, which is not needed for the pattern. Next, we need to create horizontal reference lines. So I need to go back to the line tab. It's our parallel line button. Click on the central horizontal line. I need horizontal reference lines that are offset from the central horizontal line by 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, and 1 inch. So I'll move down. I'm moving the cursor down. I'll press 5 divided by 8. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll move the cursor up and press enter. And now I can come back to the lower line, and I want to create a line that's offset by that by 1/8 of an inch. Press enter, and now just press enter 2 more times, and then come up and click on the upper line and move it up and press enter 3 times. So that completes my horizontal lines. One thing that I've overlooked in the process is making backup copies, so that I do not have to start from scratch when I want to make a new pattern. On the file menu, on the file drop-down menu, click Save. Enter a file name such as a small spherical ornament. And then we'll put template. And click Save. Okay, finally, it's time to start drawing a pattern. The intersection of these reference lines are the points that will be used in creating the pattern. Select the Draw a Circle tab and draw an elliptical arc button. And I want the color to be red. I want the line to be a solid line, and I want the weight to be thin. Okay, this elliptical arc tool requires 3 clicks. First click is the starting point. The second click is what I call an offset. Down the status line it simply says the second point, but I like to think of it as an offset, and then an ending point. So first thing we'll do is the inner segment. I'll call the pattern's going to have 3 segments: inner segment, middle segment, outer segment, and then the shell. So the first thing we'll do is the middle segment in the upper right hand quadrant here. Click on the intersection of the central vertical line and the first horizontal dashed line up. Come over, click on the second vertical dashed line to the right and the first horizontal dashed line up. Then click on the second vertical dashed line to the right and the central horizontal line. So that completes the upper right quadrant of that inner segment. Repeat with the corresponding intersections in the other 3 quadrants. So we'll click here, click here, click here, click here, here, and here, click here, here, and here. Okay, that completes the inner segment. For the middle pattern segment, we'll click on the first vertical line to the right and the second horizontal line up, the third vertical line to the right, second horizontal line up, the third vertical line to the right, and the central horizontal line. Okay, that's it for the upper right quadrant of the middle part. repeat with the corresponding intersections on the other 3 quadrants. Click here, and click there. Okay, click here, here, here. Click, click, click. Okay, that's the middle segment of the pattern. And then the outer segment of the pattern, same starting point as this one. There. Then we go out to the 4th line, fourth vertical dash line, 4th vertical dash line, and the central horizontal line. Then again, repeat on the same intersections on the other quadrants. Okay, that's it for the pattern, and that's all that would be needed if we're going to be making a pattern that's used for finishing on the lathe. But I'll make these patterns to be universal so that I can use them either for a lathe finished ornament or a scroll salt finished ornament. So for the for the shell, you click on the first dash line to the right and the 3rd horizontal line up, the 5th vertical dash line to the right, 5th vertical dash line to the right, and the central horizontal line. And then again repeat on the other quadrants. Okay, that's pretty much it, except we have a couple of gaps. We got a 1/4 inch gap here at the top and a 1/4 inch gap here at the bottom. So fill those gaps in. Still with the Draw an Elliptical Arc button selected, we will click on the third, or the first vertical dash line to the right, the 3rd horizontal line down, then click on the central vertical line and the 3rd horizontal line down, central vertical line and the 4th horizontal line down. Then we'll repeat on the left side. Again, that just gives a little bit of a tip on the bottom. And then we'll make a little button on the top. For that, we will use the Draw a Circular Arc using 3 points. This tool also requires 3 clicks. Click on this point, on this point, and on this point. Okay, that completes the pattern shape. I will save another copy at this point just in case I need to make adjustments. Click File, and since I want to save it as a different name, I'll click Save As, and this time we will call it Small Spherical Ornament with Reference Lines. Small Spherical Ornament with Reference Lines. Click Save button. Okay, now I want to clean the pattern up a bit just to make it a little bit cleaner when I'm printing it out. I don't need all those reference lines when I'm printing it out. So I'll select the Edit tab, click on the Erase an Object Delete button, and then just go around and just click on each of the the dashed reference lines to remove them. Now, I normally like to print more than one pattern out on a piece of paper just to conserve paper, and most of my time I'm using the quartered blocks, which requires 4 copies of the pattern, so I'll just typically put 4 copies of the pattern on a piece of paper. Now, I could just simply position 3 copies randomly on the page, but I prefer to keep things a bit more organized than that. So first I'm going to create a reference line that will be used for positioning the copy. I'll click the Line tab, Horizontal Line button, and I'll click the upper right corner and start the cursor out to the right and enter 1, and that creates a 1-inch line. Next I need to select the entire pattern, so I clicked on the Select button, click on the upper left corner of the pattern box, drag down to the lower right corner of the pattern box and click again, and that selects the entire pattern. So next I want to make a copy. With the Select tab selected, I want to click on the Set Base Point of Selected Objects button and click on the upper left corner of the selected area of the pattern. Then I want to make a copy. I want to move that. Next I'm going to click on the Move Selected Objects button and then come over and click on the Copy button and then click on the end of that reference line that we just created. Okay, now I could make multiple copies of that, but I don't have another reference line to continue on, so I'll press the Escape to exit out of the copy mode. And I'm going to zoom out a bit so I can see more of the patterns and reposition it up a little bit there. Okay, so now that gives us 2 copies, and now I want to create a reference line, another reference line going down, so I'll click on the Line button, and this time I want to create a vertical line. Click on the lower left-hand corner, go down, enter 1 to create a 1-inch line. Now I want to come back and select the entire thing that I have now with these 2 patterns. Click on the Set the Base Point for the selected objects. Click the upper left corner. Click on the Move Selected Objects. Click on Copy. And then come down and click on that reference, the vertical reference lines I just created, and there's my 4 copies. So I press Escape to exit out of the copy mode. And now I want to clean up a bit, do a little housekeeping here and clean up those reference lines. So I'll click the Edit tab, the Erase an Object, and then just go through and click on those reference lines to remove them. Okay, there's our 4 patterns. If we were to print these now, they would print out much larger than normal. It would do a fit page and make those pattern, that image that we have in our drawing here, it would increase the size of that to fit on a piece of paper, which makes it much larger than what we want. So we need to specify our print region. Okay, we need to select the area that we wanted to define for our print region, so I'm going to select the Select tab. I'm going to click on the upper left corner, drag down and click on the lower right corner, and then under the File menu I'm going to click on Set Print Region. And as we see in the this is a sample printout of what we're going to have, which would make the patterns much larger than what they should be. So I want to click on the Set to Last Selected, and it's going to be out of the area that I'm capturing, but down on the lower left corner of the print region screen there's a scale field, and it's currently set to 000. I want to click on the 1 button in that area, and that'll change the scale to 1 to 1. And we come up here and look now in the example sheet of paper, our patterns are now showing more concentrated toward the center of the page, which will cause them to print out in a 1 to 1 size. So click on Close. And the pattern is now ready for printing. But first, we probably want to make a save this as a final print-ready copy. So we'll come up here and click on File, Save As, and we'll change the name of the file to Small Spherical Ornament Print Ready. and click Save. I apparently had already had a name out, copy out there by that name. Okay, so we're ready to print it now. So it's a matter we come up to File, Print, and it shows our sample here. It shows us that we're going to be printing at the proper size, and then click on OK. That's it for creating the pattern using DeltaCad. Thank you for watching our videos.